Progression over perfection here, where we don't strive to be perfect. We just strive to progress every day in every way imaginable. Whew, it's a cold one this morning. I'm on my way to the gym. It's chest day, it's Monday. It's my wife's birthday, and she allowing me to go to the gym. Can you believe it? I'm gonna cut my workout in half though. That's besides the point. As y'all may know, if you haven't been living under a rock, the Buddhist monks have been, for the past 99 days or so, they've been walking for peace. They started out in Texas, they left Texas, and actually about 2 days ago, they arrived where I am, which is Virginia. Not sure who else saw them. My mom and her husband, they actually saw them. People have been lining the roads, lining the streets, giving them flowers, giving them supplies, food, so on and so forth. But when it first started and I saw that people were, lining the roads, lining the streets before they even actually reached Virginia, because like I said, they've been walking for like 99 days so far. But I was like, oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And also it made me think, wow, things must be that bad, or pretty bad, where they want to set out to walk for peace. That just shows you the state of this world we're living in. But besides that, I was like, okay, well, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And how you just see you hear whispers and you see clips here and there. But it got more real as time went on, and especially as they started getting closer to where I am. But I say all that to say, there's a lot of people with all these opinions about, for the most part, I've seen positive reactions to what they're doing. They're saying to go inward, you know what I'm saying? And find that inner peace. Also, treat one another with respect. They actually did a speech, so I was listening to a lot of what they were talking about, and it was very powerful stuff that you probably already know, but it's good to get a reminder or a refresher on. I say all that to say, people were saying they're not against their plight and the initiative of the movement, but what they were saying was they believe that, the monks don't believe that Jesus died for our sins. They don't believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, so on and so forth. Everybody always gonna have an opinion about something. The thing that struck me most, outside of any opinion about religion or anything, 2 points I want to make, and the purpose of this video is, what I really enjoy seeing? What I enjoy seeing is everyone coming together to actually acknowledge anyone. They could be monks, they could be Christians, they could be Muslims, to get behind anyone that's walking for peace, right? Anyone who's walking for peace, or who say they're walking for peace, and it's as it's cold this morning. It's been like 22 degrees. The people who are actually coming out to see him, are like shaking in their boots based on how cold it is. You know what I'm saying? And these people are walking with no big coats on. I'm sure they got layers on. I don't know what they got up under. I would be very interested to know that. These people are walking. I forget how many miles they said. I don't know if they clocked the miles or whatnot, but I know it's been 99 days. You know what I'm saying? They had a dog walking with them, and I think the dog is not even doing well. You know what I'm saying? From what I understand, or at least they're like nursing the dog, because like that's a lot of walking for a dog, let alone a human. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Either or. Especially in this cold weather. So again, what I think is dope, because I was watching the people lining the roads and the streets, giving them flowers, giving them food, giving them supplies. And the thing that I really got from it was, wow, it's amazing to see so many different people who at any other point would have so many conflicting opinions about anything, about bread, wheat bread versus white bread, come together as one and actually rally behind this movement, rally behind these people. You know what I'm saying? Again, no matter what color, creed, religion, that was dope to me. Children, elderly, middle age, teenagers, you know what I'm saying, witnessing history. And I was sitting there watching that, and I was like, man, you know what? That would have really been dope to see. It would have been a dope thing for me to catch. I'm glad my mom got to see him. But again, without getting off topic, it was really dope to see everyone coming together to support their plight. You know what I'm saying? Marching for peace, you know, because again, they see the need for peace in this world. They see how we treat each other. You know what I'm saying? They see all the atrocities and things that are taking place, you know, unprecedented things, whether it's with government, whether it's in the streets, whether it's on the countryside. It's just the state of this world. You know, it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of turmoil. It's a lot of terror. It's a lot of manipulation. You know, it's crazy. But that just tells you the state of the world we're living in. But it was so good to see. And I mean, I've seen so many clips, even friends of mine on Facebook, you know, that I went to school with, you know, we're out there recording, you know, and getting flowers from them, giving flowers to them. And man, it's just so dope to see everyone come together and pull in the same direction, because we are so divided as just human beings. We are just so divided. You know, we allow for our opinions or what we stand on to be so powerful that we have no love for our brother man or our sister woman, whatever you want to call them. You know, it's just terrible. And it was just really dope to see everyone come together for a moment to acknowledge the reason for these monks movement, you know what I'm saying, which is peace and mutual respect for one another. And those are just basic virtues, but we don't have them, and it's a need for them. A lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of us don't have virtues. We see each other as, I mean, granted, technically we are strangers, or it is a stranger if you don't know their name and you don't know who they are. But especially in this crazy, confused world, people are sick. There's some sickos out there. I get it. But I'm just saying, there's no love for one another. You know, there's no respect for one another. There's no consideration for one another. We can't even hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? The first sign of a difference in opinion, we ready to split somebody's head to the white meat. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much turmoil, so much stress, so much confusion out here. So it's really dope to see people come together to support the movement. That's one. Now, two is, real quick, what I was thinking was, with all these people out there lining the roads, lining the streets, you know, intentionally gathering so that they could support the monks movement, you know, for peace, you know. And I say peace because, again, that's another loose term, you know. Reason why I say that is because, which brings me to my second point. Ask yourself this, and I was just thinking to myself as I was watching these people, are you for peace? Do you represent the values, or do you live by the values that they're walking for? Peace. Do you respect your neighbor? You know, do you love your neighbor? Or are you just out there because you call yourself wanting to witness history? You know what I'm saying? You want to just say, I saw him. 2026, the Buddhist monks, you know, arrived here in Virginia, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. I gave one of the men an orange. I handed them a flower. That's dope and all, but do you represent the values that they're walking for? And I guarantee, with all those people, like even they said themselves, they were so so proud, so overtaken with emotion. I don't know if they necessarily said emotion, but they basically was astonished at how many people was lining these roads for them, these streets. Hundreds, and then they said even thousands. And that's the same thing I saw. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure over 1 million people have seen these monks and gave them supplies, food, etc. You know, but I guarantee you, we just talking the law of averages. Not every one of those people represented the values that the monks were walking for. And ask yourself, are you one of them? Ask yourself, are you one of them? Are you one of the people that align with the values that these monks were walking for? You know what I'm saying? Or are you just full of shit? I can't think of no other way to say it. Are you full of shit? You know, because it's a lot of people that's full of shit. You know, you ain't about that life, as they say. You ain't about no peace. You cause disruptions, confusion. You a part of the damn problem. So I just hate how people, you know, just to say they did something. And I'm not saying, of course, I know this is not everybody, you know, and I'm not acting holier than thou. I come with my own, you know, category of confusion as a person myself. You know what I'm saying? I try to minimize it, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm human. I'm not saying that I don't, you know, I ain't got some shit with me. But what I'm saying is, just ask yourself, do you align with those values? Or do you just want to be seen? Do you just want a video of the monks on your phone? That's the message. That's it. Just think about that. And I'm glad too that it gave people a second, like anything else, like when 9/11 happened, you know what I'm saying? Or when COVID happened. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes atrocities or what's perceived to be a negative moment brings forth the most positive outcome. And what I mean by that is it gives people a second to sit down and really sort shit out and figure out what's really important, what really matters at the end of the day, especially in this land of confusion and land of distractions. Specifically speaking of these monks and their walk, these people, if no other reason, you know, people lining the roads and lining the streets to see them, to take pictures, to take video, to give them supplies. It gave us a second to actually think about the reason why they're walking. At least it did that for me. Wow, peace. It shows you again how minuscule peace is these days in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's up in arms against each other. And then also it should allow you, speaking of the monks and their philosophy of looking inward, should allow you to take a second to look inward and ask yourself, are you pushing more peace than hostility, or is it the other way around? That's what it should do. It shouldn't be just for a video or a picture or an opinion. It should be to ask yourself that serious question. You know, ask yourself that serious question, because that's what it made me do. What agenda am I pushing in my life? With my loved ones, with my neighbors, with my fellow man, with my fellow woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. Don't do the shit or get behind it just because it's the wave or it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Are you about it? Ask yourself that question. Are you about peace? That's the video. Those are my thoughts. Hope I ain't take up too much of y'all time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I just had to get that off my chest. You know, that's my only opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's so opinionated these days. That's my only opinion. And that's the only question that I pose. To not only you, but to myself. All right? So it's progression over perfection here. I'm going to get my ass over to this gym. It's my wife's birthday. Got a special day planned for her. Not really. It's just whatever she want to do. But y'all have a blessed day. Progression over perfection. Signing out. Peace and love.